Ori and the Will of the Wisps is brilliant fun at times, and the multi-layered 2D scenes are all gorgeous and expressive. It's also a much bigger and more complex Metroid-vania than Ori and the Blind Forest, and as a result, it's a bit sloppier. The new autosave system is inconsistent, and there's a much greater focus on combat, but it isn't nearly as fun as the precise platforming. It's hard to see what's going on through all the visual noise, and Ori's own sword combos can obscure enemy animations. When possible, you can just cheese enemies by leaping above them and repeatedly throwing downward strikes. But bugs with impenetrable shells need to be tricked into running into walls and dazing themselves, a tiring old enemy type. Normal difficulty mode is the way it's meant to be played according to the menu, but starting it again on easy, the way it's not meant to be played, was definitely more enjoyable. It feels awfully good to vaporize all the crawling things in half the time. Fighting the same handful of enemy types for 10 plus hours is not what makes Ori fun. You can't always skip combat, but when you can, we bet you will, because it's so much more fun just zipping through the air. The basic jumping, double jumping and dashing is precise and satisfying, just like it was in Ori and the Blind Forest. You can launch glowing energy ropes at hooks and swing yourself through the air, chaining grapples like Spider-Man. You can freeze time when you're next to a projectile and launch it and yourself in opposite directions, bouncing between glowing bullets as if you're ricocheting off of them. There are plenty of places to stop and rest, but you rarely have to give up any speed if you don't want to. With 10 unique areas, there are a ton of special movement abilities and puzzle types, some more successful than others. Diving into a sandpit and bouncing around like a pinball before shooting back out again like a Dune worm is brilliant. Meanwhile, the bits which take off the portal are quite disappointing. They don't play much with momentum. For the most part, you just go in one blue hole and out of another. But even the bits that are only so-so feel great to clear, like flawlessly running through an ultra-hard Guitar Hero song. Aside from that good feeling, the reward for platforming victory doesn't have to be anything more than seeing what's next. From the swamps to the mountains to the obligatory water level, they're all stunning. The characters and their stories urge you along as well. Like Ori and the Blind Forest, Will of the Wisps is on a mission to pull both delight and sadness out of even the most determined grumps, and it does a better job of it. The broader plot is standard forest spirit mysticism stuff. Restore the light, restore the balance, and there's another nasty but sympathetic owl villain. The end may induce sniffling, but its success will depend on whether or not the boss fights and escape sequences have put you in a sour mood by the time you get to it. The move or die escape scenes, in which you have to jump, dash, float and grapple through collapsing structures whilst making zero mistakes, are seriously annoying in places. It's satisfying to clear these challenges, but only in the same way it would be satisfying to stop punching yourself. Take the whole thing at a relaxed pace though, and you'll collect lots of spirit money to upgrade Ori's abilities. Hunting down energy and life cells throughout the world also makes things a lot easier, so if a boss is frustrating, at least you can go away and improve the math in your favour. Ori and the Blind Forest is preferable for its compactness and simplicity, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps is also worth playing to the end. It trips over its own complexity at times, and it really doesn't need so much combat, but it's gorgeous and funny, and the triple jumping could go on forever without getting old.